Hello, welcome to our channel Learn to Score. In this video, I'm going to solve exercise 1 of rational numbers chapter. I hope you will like the video. Please subscribe to our channel for regular updates. Thank you. Question number 1. Name the property involved in the following examples. We are given total 9 examples. We have to find name of the property for each of the examples. Let us consider the first example. 8 by 5 plus 0 equal to 8 by 5. That is equal to 0 plus 8 by 5. We know that sum of a rational number and 0 is equal to the rational number itself. That's why 0 is called additive identity. It means when you add 0 to any of the rational numbers, you will get the same rational number, right? That's what happened here. We have added 0 to 8 by 5 to get 8 by 5, right? Same is true here. We have added 0 to 8 by 5 to get 8 by 5. So the name of the property involved here is additive identity property, right? Let us consider the second example. 2 times 3 by 5 plus half equal to 2 times 3 by 5 plus 2 times half, right? We learned that for all ABC belong to Q, here Q represents the rational numbers, right? It means for all the numbers ABC belong to rational numbers, we can write A times B plus C equal to AB plus AC. This particular property is called distributivity of multiplication over addition. If you see here, the multiplication is there, right? A times. So that is getting distributed over this particular addition. So that's why it becomes A times B plus A times C, right? If you observe and compare the example given here, it looks like A times B plus C equal to AB plus AC, right? So that's why we can say that the law involved here or the property involved here is distributive law or distributive property, right? Now let us consider the third example. 3 by 7 times 1 equal to 3 by 7. That is equal to 1 times 3 by 7. We know that product of a rational number and 1 is the rational number itself. For that reason, 1 is called multiplicative identity. You see here we have multiplied 3 by 7 by 1 to get 3 by 7 only, right? Here 1 is talking about multiplicative identity. That's why the name of the property involved here is multiplicative in identity of rational numbers, right? Let's see the next example, that is minus 2 by 5 times 1 equal to minus 2 by 5. That is equal to 1 times minus 2 by 5. This is similar to what we have seen earlier, right? We know that product of a rational number and 1 is the rational number itself. That is why 1 is called multiplicative identity of rational numbers, right? So the property involved here is multiplicative identity, right? Now let's go to the next example. 2 by 5 plus 1 by 3. That is written as 1 by 3 plus 2 by 5. We learned in the concepts video that for all A and B belong to Q, A plus B equal to B plus A. Meaning for all rational numbers A and B, we can write it as A plus B equal to B plus A, right? What we have done here, we have changed the order of the numbers in addition, right? We are adding, while adding we change the order of the numbers A and B, right? So that it became B and A. It is not changing the result. That is why we said that A plus B equal to B plus A, right? This particular property is called commutative property. So we say that rational numbers satisfy commutative property under addition. So whatever the example given is talking about commutative property of addition. 2 by 5 plus 1 by 3 can be written as 1 by 3 plus 2 by 5, right? We have changed the order of the numbers in the addition. That is called commutative property. Since we are doing addition, This is going to be commutative property of addition, right? Let's see the next example. 5 by 2 times 3 by 7 equal to 15 by 14. We know that for all A and B belong to Q, A times B also belong to Q. It means when you multiply two rational numbers, the product whatever you get is also a rational number, right? It says that product of two rational numbers is always a rational number. This is called closure property. We say that rational numbers are closed under multiplication. So the property involved here is closure property of multiplication under, multiplication of rational numbers, right? Let's see the next problem or next example. 7a plus minus 7a equal to 0. If sum of two rational numbers is 0, then we can say that one rational number is additive inverse of the other rational number. In this particular case, we can say that minus 7a is additive inverse of 7a, or in other words, we can say that 7a is additive inverse of minus 7a, because by adding these two numbers 7a and minus 7a, we are getting the result as 0, right? That's why 7a can be additive inverse of minus 7a, or minus 7a can be additive inverse of 7a. You can say either way, not a problem. So the property involved here is additive inverse property of rational numbers, right? Let's see the next example. X times 1 by x equal to 1, where x is not equal to 0. We have to say this: if x equal to 0, then 1 by 0 has no meaning, not defined, right? It is not defined. That's why we always say that whenever we write 1 by x, we say that x is not equal to 0. So x times 1 by x equal to 1. What property is involved here? We know that product of two rational numbers is 1 when one rational number is multiplicative inverse of the other rational number, right? It means x is multiplicative inverse of 1 by x, or 1 by x is multiplicative inverse of x. When you have two numbers which are multiplicative inverse of each other, when you multiply, the product you get is 1. So the property involved here is multiplicative inverse property of rational numbers, right? Now let's see the last part of the question. 2 times x plus 2 times 6 equal to 2 times x plus 6. We have seen this particular property already. For all a, b, c belong to Q, a times b plus c can be written as ab plus ac, right? We have, we are distributing the multiplication over the addition, right? This is called distributivity of multiplication over addition, right? For example, you start from this side, 2 times x plus 6. Now, if I distribute this multiplication, what happens is 2 times x, it becomes, then plus comes, and then it becomes 2 times 6, right? If you are going in this direction, what you are seeing is distributivity of multiplication over addition. So the property involved here is distributive law or distributive property, right? Question number 2, write the additive and the multiplicative inverses of the following. We are given 5 numbers. We are asked to write additive inverse of all these numbers and multiplicative inverses of all these numbers. Let's start with additive inverses first. If sum of two rational numbers is 0, then we say that one rational number is additive inverse of the other rational number, right? As per that, minus a by b is additive inverse of a by b, because when you add minus a by b to a by b, what you get is 0, right? That's why we say that minus a by b is additive inverse of a by b. Please note this point, because with the help of this itself, we are going to solve this problem. Additive inverse of minus 3 by 5 can be written as minus of minus 3 by 5, right? We know minus times minus is plus. That's why we can write it as plus 3 by 5, right? Additive inverse of minus 3 by 5 is plus 3 by 5 or 3 by 5. Additive inverse of 1 is going to be minus of 1, that is equal to minus 1, right? Additive inverse of 0, I can write it as minus of 0, but it makes no sense because 0 has no sign, right? When we have written integers, we said that we have negative integers, we have positive integers, but 0 is called just integer. It has no sign, right? So though I have written it as minus of 0, I can't be writing it as minus 0 because, 0 has no sign, right? Additive inverse of 0 is 0 itself, right? Let's see the next part, that is additive inverse of 7 by 9. So additive inverse of 7 by 9 is going to be minus 7 by 9, right? So last part, additive inverse of minus 1 we have to write. Additive inverse of minus 1 is going to be minus of minus 1, that is equal to plus 1, right? When you multiply minus with minus, what you get is plus, right? When you multiply minus with plus, what you get is minus, right? When you have both the signs positive or negative, then you are going to get positive only. When the signs are different, like we have written here, the product is going to be negative, right? Now, since we are done with additive inverses of all these problems, all these numbers, let's now look at multiplicative inverses of all these numbers. We know that if product of two rational numbers is 0, then one rational number is multiplicative inverse of the other rational number, right? It means a by b is multiplicative inverse of b by a, right? When you write a by b and multiply with b by a, you can cancel, so that you can write 1 and cancel this also. So the product of a by b and b by a is equal to 1, right? For that reason, we say that a by b is multiplicative inverse of b by a. Please take a note of this. We want to use this to write multiplicative inverse of all these numbers. Multiplicative inverse of minus 3 by 5 can be written as 1 divided by minus 3 by 5, right? A by b multiplicative inverse is going to be b by a, right? How we got it? Actually, we got it by writing this as 1 divided by a by b, right? So multiplicative inverse of minus 3 by 5 can be written as 1 divided by minus 3 by 5, that is going to be minus 5 by 3, right? If you have any doubts, we can write it like 1 by 1 divided by minus 3 divided by 5, right? This division, when you flip this particular number, the second denominator number in the denominator, what you get is, we can write it as 1 by 1 times minus 5 by 3. This is going to be minus 5 by 3, right? So multiplicative inverse of minus 3 by 5 is minus 5 by 3. Multiplicative inverse of 1 is 1 divided by 1, that is equal to 1, right? When you multiply 1 with number 1, you're going to get answer as 1, right? That's why multiplicative inverse of 1 is 1. Now, what is the multiplicative inverse of 0? There is no number exists for multiplicative inverse of 0. The reason is that, when you say multiplicative inverse of 0 is 1 by 0, 1 by 0 is not defined, right? We don't know the value of 1 by 0. For that reason, what we say is multiplicative inverse of 0 is not defined, right? Now 7 by 9. Multiplicative inverse of 7 by 9 can be written as 1 divided by 7 by 9, right? When you have 1 divided by 7 by 9, this can be written as 1 by 1 times 9 by 7, right? This particular one, while going up, actually it the numerator becomes denominator and denominator becomes numerator. That's how you are getting 9 by 7, right? The last part is multiplicative inverse of minus 1. Multiplicative inverse of minus 1 can be written as 1 divided by minus 1, right? That is equal to minus 1, right? Multiplicative inverse of minus 1 is minus 1. Multiplicative inverse of 1 is 1. Multiplicative inverse of 0 is not defined. Please note this. Question number 3. Fill in the blanks. We are given total 6 problems. We have to fill in the blanks. Let's start with first problem. That is minus 1 by 17 plus dash equal to minus 12 by 5 plus minus 1 by 17. We know that for all a and b belong to Q, meaning for all the rational numbers a and b, we can write a plus b equal to b plus a, right? This particular property is called commutative property of rational numbers under addition, right? In other words, we can say that addition of rational numbers is commutative, right? So when I can say that this is minus 12 by 5 plus 1 minus 1 by 17, using the commutative law, I can write it as minus 1 by 17 minus 12 by 5 plus minus 12 by 5, right? So this is what is the answer we are looking for. Now let's take a look at the second part. Minus 2 by 3 plus dash equal to 2 by 3. Okay. Minus 2 by 3 plus dash equal to 2 by 3. Let me say that minus 2 by 3 plus x equal to 2 by 3. Okay. Then let's find the value of x. To do that, what we can do is we can take minus 2 by 3 from this side to this side, right? When you take that, what happens is, since it is added to x on this side, it will be subtracted from 2 by 3 on the other side, right? When you do that, x is going to be equal to 2 by 3 minus half minus 2 by 3, right? What you have done is we have taken minus 2 by 3 from this side so that it becomes minus of minus 2 by 3 when it comes to the other side. Now this is minus sign and this is minus sign. When you multiply minus and minus, what you get is plus, right? So x equal to 2 by 3 plus 2 by 3, that is equal to 4 by 3. Since denominators are same, 3 and 3, we can write the common denominator as the denominator and add the numerator so that 2 plus 2 becomes 4. So x is equal to 4 by 3. Let's write that. When you add minus 2 by 3 to 4 by 3, you get 2 by 3 as the answer, right? Let's see the third part. 1 times dash equal to 9 by 11. 1 times dash equal to 9 by 11. We know that product of a rational number and 1 is the rational number itself, right? That's why 1 is called multiplicative identity. It means when you multiply 9 by 11 with 1, you're getting 9 by 11 as the answer, right? Now let's go to the next part. That is minus 12 plus 5 by 6 plus 6 by 7 equal to minus 12 plus 5 by 6 plus dash. We know that for all a, b, c belong to Q, a plus b plus c, a plus b plus c can be written as a plus b plus c, right? This particular property is called associative property for addition of rational numbers, right? What we have done is, here a and b are grouped in under addition, right? And c is separate. Whereas on this side, we have grouped b and c together and a is separate, right? Meaning, in the case of associative property, what we do is we regroup in a different way. For example, here minus 12 is outside and we grouped 5 by 6 and 6 by 7, right? When it comes to the right hand side, minus 12 and 5 by 6 are grouped. So as per the associative property, the remaining number is going to be 6 by 7, right? Let's look at the next problem, that is dash times 1 by 2 plus 1 by 3 equal to 3 by 4 times half plus 3 by 4 times dash. We know that for all ABC belong to Q, A times B plus C equal to AB plus AC, right? This is A. So what we have learned is A times B plus C equal to AB times AC. This particular property is called distributivity of multiplication over addition, right? As per this, for example, look at this. You have 3 by 4 common, right? Let's write that here. So 3 by 4, once you write onto the LHS side, then what we have is 3 by 4 times 1 by 2, that is written here, plus 3 by 4 times 1 by 3. So 3 by 4 is here, 1 by 3 has to be written, right? Now you got it? We have used distributive property of multiplication over addition to fill in these blanks, right? The last part of the question is minus 16 by 7 plus dash equal to minus 16 by 7. We know that sum of a rational number and 0 is equal to rational number itself. That's why 0 is called additive property, additive identity, right? When you say 0 is additive identity, when you add 0 to any of the rational number, you get the same rational number, right? A by B plus 0 equal to A by B. Now minus 16 by 7 plus 0 equal to minus 16 by 7. This is what we are asked to fill, right? Question number 4. Multiply 2 by 11 by the reciprocal of minus 5 by 14, right? We are asked to multiply 2 by 11 with the reciprocal of minus 5 by 14. The reciprocal of minus 5 by 14 can be written as 1 divided by minus 5 by 14, right? As we have learned earlier, we can write it as 1 by 1 divided by minus 5 by 14. That is going to be equal to 1 by 1 times 14 by minus 5 or 1 by 1 times minus 14 by 5, right? When you do that, what you get is reciprocal of minus 5 by 14 as minus 14 by 5. Got it? It means we have to multiply 2 by 11 by minus 14 by 5. Let's do that. 2 by 11 times minus 14 by 5 can be written as 2 times minus 14 divided by 11 times 5, right? We have multiplied both denominators and written it as denominator and multiplied numerators to get the numerator, right? 2 times minus 14 is minus 28 and 11 times 5 is 55. So the answer is minus 28 by 55, right? Question number 5. Which properties can be used in computing 2 by 5 times 5 by 7 by 5 times 7 by 6 plus 1 by 3 times 4 by 11, right? We have 2 by 5 times 5 times 7 by 6 plus 1 by 3 times 4 by 11, right? This can be now rearranged using this particular property that is called multiplication of rational numbers is associative, right? We want to use associative property to rearrange the terms in this particular expression. What associative property says is A times B times C equal to A times B times C. in the associative property, what we have done is, instead of grouping these two, now we grouped these two. Meaning, you can group in the multiplication of rational numbers, you can group numbers in different order, doesn't matter. So shall we group now these two numbers, 2 by 5 and 5, 1 by 3 and 3, so that it can be written as 2 by 5 times 5 times 7 by 6 plus 1 by 3 times 3 times 4 by 11, right? The property we used here is associative property under multiplication, right? Now once you have done that, let me write 2 by 5 as 2 times 1 by 5, right? When I do that, what we can do is we can look at these two separately and these two separately. What you have seen here is multiplicative inverse of 1 by 5 is 5 and multiplicative inverse of 1 by 3 is 3, right? We know a by b is multiplicative inverse of b by a, right? It means 1 by 5 is multiplicative inverse of 5 and 1 by 3 is multiplicative inverse of 3. When you use this property, what you can say is, when you multiply two numbers which are multiplicative inverse of each other, what we get is 1, right? So let's use multiplicative inverse property such that it can be written as 2 times 1, because this is getting cancelled, this is also getting cancelled. The property we have used is the multiplicative inverse property. As per that, when you multiply two numbers which are multiplicative inverse of each other, you get the product as 1, right? That's what we have written here. 2 times 1 and times 7 by 6 plus 1 times 4 by 11, right? Now what property we can think of? You see here we are multiplying number 2 by 1 and multiplying number 4 by 11 with 1, right? Multiplicative identity property says that when you multiply any rational number with 1, you are going to get the same number, right? It means when I multiply number 2 by 1 or number 4 by 11 by 1, I'm going to get the same numbers, right? Here I'm going to get 2 and in this case I'm going to get 4 by 11, right? So let's write that we are using multiplicative identity property such that it can be written as 2 times 7 by 6 plus 4 by 11, right? We know that 2 times 7 by 6 can be written as 14 by 6 and then keep plus 4 by 11 as is, right? Now you look at this, we are adding two rational numbers, right? When you add two rational numbers, we are going to get rational number again as the answer, right? Let's see that. Rational numbers are closed under addition. It means when you add two rational numbers a and b, you get the sum as rational number only, right? So 14 by 6 plus 4 by 11, look at this, denominators are 6 and 11, right? So LCM of 6 and 11 is 66, right? I'm going to divide 66 with number 6. That gives me 11, right? That's why we have multiplied this 14 with 11. Then write plus as is, okay? Then write this particular 4 here. Then to get this 6, what I have done is 66 divided by this 11. Okay, that gives me 6. You got it? 14 times 11 plus 4 times 6 divided by 66. 14 times 11 is 154. 4 times 6 is 24. So sum is 178 divided by 66. Right? You see here both are even numbers. Right? We can further divide both numerator and denominator with number 2 such that it can be written as 89 divided by 33. it is a rational number, right? We know rational number is a ratio of two integers. In this particular case, 89 and 33 are the integers, and their ratio 89 by 33 is a rational number, right? The property what we have used here is closure property of addition of rational numbers. Got it? So what properties we have used while computing this particular expression? First, associative property under multiplication, then multiplicative inverse property, then multiplicative identity property, and then closure property of addition, right? Question number 6, verify the following: 5 by 4 plus minus half plus minus 3 by 2 equal to 5 by 4 plus minus half plus minus 3 by 2. This is the equation given. We want to verify that. For that, what we will do is we'll take LHS first and find its value, then find the value of RHS and see whether they are equal or not. If they are equal, we can say that whatever equation is given here, this is equal to this particular expression, right? Let's do that. So let us consider the LHS, that is 5 by 4 plus minus half plus minus 3 by 2, right? We want to find its value. Let's start with addition of these two numbers, 5 by 4 plus minus half. As you see here, 4 and 2, the LCM is 4, right? So the denominator is going to be 4. Now divide this particular 4 with this 4. What you get is 1, right? For that reason, what we do is we write it as 5 times 1. This particular 5 times 1, then plus, right? Now divide this particular 4 with 2. So answer is 2. That's why we are going to multiply minus 1 with number 2. Let's write that. 5 times 1 plus minus 1 times 2 divided by 4. 5 times 1 is 5 and minus 1 times 2 is minus 2. Let's write that. So it is going to be 5 minus 2 divided by 4, that is equal to 3 by 4. Right? We are done with this particular part, the first part of LHS, that is 3 by 4. Now we have to add 3 by 4 to minus 3 by 2. Let's do that. When you do that, 3 by 4 plus minus 3 by 2, here also the LCM of the denominators 4 and 2 is 4, right? Let me write that, 4. Now 4 divided by 4 is 1, that's why the first term is going to be 3 times 1. Now let me write plus minus 3, and here you have 2 in the denominator. Let me divide number 4, that is LCM, right? 4 divided by 2 is 2, that's why minus 3 times 2. Let's write this. 3 times 1 is 3, minus 3 times 2 is minus 6. 3 minus 6 divided by 4, it is going to be minus 3 by 4, right? LHS, value of LHS is minus 3 by 4. Please note this. Now let's look at the RHS, right? We want to find the value of 5 by 4 plus minus half plus minus 3 by 2, right? Let's start with this particular pair, the one in the bracket, minus 1 by 2 plus minus 3 by 2. Let's add that. As you see here, both the denominators are 2, right? They are same. That's why we can simply add the numerators for the numerator and write the denominator as 2. Otherwise, we can use LCM way. LCM of 2 and 2 is 2, right? So minus 1 times 1, because LCM divided by this 2 is 1, right? Plus minus 3 times 1, because LCM divided by this 2 is 1, right? So minus 1 plus minus 3 divided by 2, that is minus 4 by 2, that is equal to minus 2. So this particular part, when you add, you got minus 2 as the answer. Now we have to add minus 2 to 5 by 4 to get the value of RHS, right? 5 by 4 plus minus 2 can be written as 5 by 4 plus minus 2 by 1, right? So here LCM is 4. Let me write that 4. 4 divided by, let me write 5. 4 divided by 4 is 1, that's why we have written 1 here, plus, let me write minus 2 times 4 divided by 1, that is 4, right? Let's write this 5 times 1 plus minus 2 times 4 divided by 4. 5 times 1 is 5, minus 2 times 4 is minus 8. When you write that, the answer you get is 5 minus 8 divided by 4, that is equal to minus 3 by 4, right? So RHS is also equal to minus 3 by 4, that is equal to LHS. So we can say that the given equation is verified, right? We can say that 5 by 4 plus minus half plus minus 3 by 2 is equal to 5 by 4 plus minus half plus minus 3 by 2, that is equal to minus 3 by 4, right? Now let's look at question number 7. Evaluate 3 by 5 plus 7 by 3 plus minus 2 by 5 plus minus 2 by 3 after rearrangement. You know, we can add all these numbers, right? For example, we learned to add two rational numbers. So we can add these two rational numbers first, and then we can add these two rational numbers. So whatever we get, we can add them further so that we can get the answer, right? But that's not what this guy is asking. He is asking us to evaluate the value of this expression after rearrangement. You know, when you are asked to rearrange, the thing we can think about is commutative property. We know that addition of rational numbers is commutative, right? It means for all a and b belong to Q, a plus b equal to b plus a, meaning we can flip the order, right? Let me consider these two numbers, 7 by 3 and minus 2 by 5 as a and b, as so that we can flip them, so that minus 2 by 5 can be written first, then 7 by 3 can be written later. Why we are going to do that way? Why we are going to flip these two? Because you see, after flipping, we have these two numbers which have got denominator 5, right? Fairly easy to add. Similarly, these two numbers have got denominator 3. So it's much easier for one to add. Now, since the denominators are same, 3 by 5 plus minus 2 by 5, when you want to add these two numbers, now since denominators is same, we'll write the common denominator as denominator and simply add the numerators 3 and minus 2. That's why this is 3 minus 2, that is equal to 1 by 5, right? Similarly, we can add these two numbers now. Since the denominator is 3, the common denominator becomes denominator of the resultant ratio or the resultant rational number, and the numerator is just sum of the numerators of both the rational numbers. 7 plus minus 2, that is equal to 7 minus 2, that is 5 divided by 3. You see, now we can write 1 by 5 plus 5 by 3 after simplification of this, right? Now we have to add these two numbers. 5 and 3 are the denominators, right? Their LCM is 15. 1 times 15 divided by 5, that is 3, plus 5 times 15 divided by 3, that is 5, right? Let me write that. 1 times 3 plus 5 times 5 divided by 15, right? When you simplify it, it can be written as 3 plus 25 by 15, that is equal to 28 by 15. So after rearranging, we could get the answer for the expression as 28 by 15, or the value of the expression is 28 by 15, right? Let's write that. 3 by 5 plus 7 by 3 minus 2 by 5 plus minus 2 by 3 equal to 28 by 15. This is what we are asked to find, right? Question number 8. Subtract 3 by 4 from 1 by 3, minus 32 by 13 from 2, and minus 7 from minus 4 by 7. We have to solve 3 subtraction problems, right? The first one is we have to subtract 3 by 4 from 1 by 3. That can be written as 1 by 3 minus 3 by 4. What is its value? We want to find this, right? We know the subtraction. Look at 3. Look at the denominators 3 and 4, right? Their LCM is 12, right? Now 12 divided by 3 is 4. That's why we can write it as 1 times 4 minus 3 times 12 divided by 4, that is 3, right? 1 times 4 minus 3 times 3 divided by 12. When you simplify it, you can write it as 4 minus 9 divided by 12, right? The answer is minus 5 by 12, right? When you subtracted 3 by 4 from 1 by 3, the answer you get is minus 5 by 12, right? Now let's look at the second part of the problem. Subtract minus 32 by 13 from 2. That can be written as 2 divided by 1 minus 32 by 13, right? What is the value of 2 minus 32 by 13? Here, since it is minus and minus, when you multiply, you get plus, right? So this has become now an addition problem. 2 by 1 plus 32 by 13. We want to find its value, right? As you see here, the denominators are 1 and 13, right? Their LCM is 13. Now 2 times 13 divided by 1 is 13, right? Plus 32 times 13 divided by 13, that is equal to 1, right? 2 times 13 plus 32 times 1 divided by 13. So 2 times 13 is 36 plus 32 divided by 13. 26 plus 32 divided by 13. When you simplify it, you get the answer as 58 by 13, right? To answer the question, when you subtract minus 32 by 13 from number 2, what you get is 58 by 13, right? Now let's look at the third part of the problem. That is, we want to subtract minus 7 from minus 4 by 7. That can be written as minus 4 by 7 minus 7, right? When you multiply these two minuses, what you get is plus. We said that, right? Minus times minus is plus. Minus times plus is minus, right? For that reason, since minus times minus is there, we can write it as minus 4 by 7 plus 7 equal to what? We want to find the value of this, right? Let me write it as minus 4 by 7 plus 7 by 1. I'm writing this 7 as 7 by 1. Now you see the denominators. 7 is the LCM of denominators, right? Now let me write minus 4. 7 divided by 7 is 1 plus 7 times 7 divided by 1 is 7, right? Now you got minus 4 times 1 plus 7 times 7 divided by 7, right? Minus 4 plus 49 by 7. When you simplify it, the answer is going to be 45 by 7. To answer the question, when you subtract minus 7 from minus 4 by 7, you get the answer as 45 by 7, right? Question number 9. What number should be added to minus 5 by 8 so as to get minus 3 by 2 as the answer? For example, when you add a number to minus 5 by 8, you're getting minus 3 by 2. So we are asked to find what is that number. Let me assume that the number to be added is x, right? As per the problem statement, x plus minus 5 by 8 is equal to minus 3 by 2, right? Let's write that. Or minus 5 by 8 plus x equal to minus 3 by 2. what we have done, we have assumed a number x which needs to be added to minus 5 by 8 so that we get answer as minus 3 by 2, right? So this expression minus 5, sorry, this equation minus 5 by 8 plus x equal to minus 3 by 2 can be rearranged such that we can get the value of x, right? For that, what we are going to do is we can take minus 5 by 8 from this side to the other side so that it becomes x equal to minus 3 by 2 minus of minus 5 by 8. You see, since it is added to x on this side, when it comes to the other side, it is subtracted from minus 3 by 2, right? We know minus times minus is plus here, right? So it can be written as minus 3 by 2 plus 5 by 8. Now look at the denominator. We want to add these two numbers. Look at these denominators, 2 and 8. Their LCM is 8, right? Now minus 3 times 8 divided by 2 is 4 plus 5 times 8 divided by 8, that is 1, right? Minus 3 times 4 plus 5 times 1 divided by 8. This is going to be minus 12 plus 5 divided by 8, right? The answer is minus 7 by 8. So what we have to say now is x equal to minus 7 by 8. This is the number we have to add to minus 5 by 8 such that we get minus 3 by 2 as the answer. Minus 7 by 8 should be added to minus 5 by 8 to get minus 3 by 2, right? Question number 10. The sum of two rational numbers is 8. If one of the numbers is minus 5 by 6, find the other. It means when you add a number to minus 5 by 6, we are getting the sum as 8. We are asked to find what is that number, right? Let me assume that number as x, right? As per the problem statement, when you add x to minus 5 by 6, you are getting the sum as 8. Let's write that. Minus 5 by 6 plus x equal to 8, right? We have to solve these equations so that we can get the value of x, right? To do that, we can transfer this minus 5 by 6 from LHS to RHS so that it becomes minus of minus 5 by 6, right? Let's write that. X equal to 8 minus minus 5 by 6. We have minus and minus. When you multiply, you get plus. It means x equal to 8 plus 5 by 6, or I can write it as 8 by 1 plus 5 by 6. Look at the denominators. When we want to add these two numbers, look at the denominators. Their LCM is 6, right? Now let me write 8 times LCM 6 divided by 1 is 6 plus 5 times LCM 6 divided by this 6, that is 1, right? So 8 times 6 plus 5 times 1 divided by 6, that is going to be 48 plus 5 divided by 6. This is 53 divided by 6, right? So to answer the question, the another number is 53 by 6. When you add 53 by 6 to minus 5 by 6, what you get is 8 as the answer. Question number 11. Is subtraction associative in rational numbers? Explain with an example. Let me consider subtraction problem for three rational numbers. 1 by 2, 3 by 4 and minus 5 by 4. We want to find the value of this. 1 by 2 minus 3 by 4 minus of minus 5 by 4, right? Here, if you observe, I have grouped these two numbers together, right? 3 by 4 and minus 5 by 4. For example, instead of grouping these two numbers, if I group 1 by 2 and 3 by 4, okay, then leave minus 5 by 4 aside and find its value. If grouping doesn't make any difference, then we can say that it is associative. Subtraction is associative. For example, if the value of this particular subtraction is not equal to this particular subtraction, value of this particular subtraction, then what you can say is subtraction is not associative, right? What we have done is we have taken three numbers. We want to subtract one from each other. While doing that, we grouped and want to understand whether grouping has any influence on the result. If grouping has no influence on the result, then we can say that subtraction is associative, otherwise not, right? Now let's start with the first expression. We want to find the value of this. To begin with, let me find what is the value of 3 by 4 minus 5 by 4. 3 by 4 minus 5 by 4 can be written as 3 by 4 plus 5 by 4, right? Since denominators are same, we can simply add the numerators. So numerator is going to be 8 and denominator is going to be 4. So 8 by 4, that is equal to 2. Right? What we have got now is value of 3 by 4 minus 5 by 4, that is equal to 2. Now let's subtract 2 from 1 by 2. 1 by 2 minus 2 by 1. When you subtract, actually what you have to see is, since the denominators are not same, we'll find the LCM of these two numbers, right? 2 and 1, LCM is 2. So let's write that as denominator, right? 2 divided by 2 equal to 1. That's why it is 1 times 1 minus 2 times 2 divided by 1, that is 2, right? Now 1 times 1 minus 2 times 2 can be written as 1 minus 4 divided by 2. That is minus 3 by 2, right? When you have subtracted 2 from 1 by 2, what you got is minus 3 by 2. Please take a note of this. The value of this particular expression is minus 3 by 2. Now let's find the value of the second expression we have written. In that, to begin with, let me find what is the value of 1 by 2 minus 3 by 4. 1 by 2 minus 3 by 4, when you want to subtract, you see denominators are not same. That's why we go with LCM. LCM of 2 and 4 is 4. So let's write 4 in the denominator so that it can be written as 1 times 4 divided by this 2, that is 2, right? Minus 3 times 1, that is equal to minus 1 by 4. Now we have subtracted 3 by 4 from 1 by 2. When you do that, you got an answer as minus 1 by 4, right? Now from minus 1 by 4, we want to subtract minus 5 by 4. Minus 1 by 4 minus 5 by 4, minus of minus 5 by 4 becomes plus 5 by 4, right? You have minus 1 by 4 plus 5 by 4. Since the denominators are same, we can add the numerators, minus 1 plus 5. That becomes the numerator. And denominator is 4. So minus 1 plus 5 is 4 divided by 4, that is equal to 1, right? So you see here, this particular expression has given value 1 and this particular expression has given value minus 3 by 2, right? It means when you have grouped differently, you are not getting the same value, right? Change in the grouping of numbers for subtraction is giving different results. That's why we say that rational numbers do not satisfy associative property under subtraction. In other words, we can say that subtraction of rational numbers is not associative. Please note this. Question number 12. Verify that minus of minus x equal to x for x equal to 2 by 5. So 2 by 15 and x equal to minus 13 by 17. We want to verify minus of minus x equal to x. We know that actually, but we want to verify using rational numbers 2 by 15 and minus 13 by 17, right? So let's say that x equal to 2 by 15. So minus of minus x can be written as minus of minus 2 by 15, right? Minus times minus is plus. That's why this can be written as 2 by 15, that is equal to x, right? Minus of minus x is equal to x. We have verified that. Minus of minus x is equal to x. In the case of 2 by 15, we have verified. Now let's take a look at the another rational number, that is minus 13 by 17, right? When x equal to minus 13 by 17, minus of minus x can be written as minus of minus 13 by 17, right? When you multiply these two minuses, you will get plus, right? That is going to be minus, this particular minus is kept as is, right? That's why this is written as minus of 13 by 17, right? That is equal to x. Minus 13 by 17 is what? Is x, right? Hence we can say that minus of minus x equal to minus of minus times minus 13 by 17, that is equal to minus 13 by 17, that is equal to x. So we can say that we have verified minus of minus x equal to x for these two rational numbers, right? It is valid for any of the rational numbers for that matter. Question number 13. Write 1. The set of numbers which do not have any additive identity. 2. The rational number that does not have any reciprocal. 3. The reciprocal of a negative rational number. We are asked to write 3 parts. Let's start with the first one. The set of numbers which do not have any additive identity. Sum of a rational number and 0 is equal to the rational number itself, right? That's why 0 is called additive identity of a rational number, additive identity of rational numbers, right? Similarly, sum of an integer and 0 is equal to the integer itself, right? That's why 0 is additive identity for integers also, right? Same is true with whole numbers. When you add a whole number with 0, what you get is the whole number itself as the answer, right? That's why 0 is called additive identity of whole numbers also. But that is not true for natural numbers, right? Because in the case of natural numbers, we don't have 0 itself. The set of numbers that do not have 0 are natural numbers, right? Because natural numbers start with 1. They are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and so on, right? Since 0 is not there, the set of natural numbers are not going to have additive identity. So to answer the question, the set of numbers which do not have any additive identity are natural numbers. Please note this. Now let's look at the second part. Write the rational number that does not have any reciprocal, right? Write the rational number that does not have any reciprocal. 1 by a is the reciprocal of a, right? In other words, we said that 1 by a and a are multiplicative inverse of each other, right? A times 1 by a equal to 1. For example, if I take this 1 by a onto the other side, then what I'll be writing is a equal to 1 divided by 1 by a, right? Since I'm writing this 1 by a in the denominator of with 1 as the numerator, I call 1 by a as the reciprocal of a. Got it? So similar in this line, for example, you can write reciprocal of number 1, right? That is 1. Reciprocal of number 2, that is 1 by 2. Reciprocal of 5, that is 1 by 5. What is the reciprocal of 0? Can you say 1 by 0? But that is not a rational number, right? Value of 1 by 0 is not defined. So what we can say is reciprocal of 0 is not defined, right? Since 1 by 0 is not defined. So to answer the second part of the question, we say that rational numbers that does not have any reciprocal is 0, right? Now let's look at the third part. Write the reciprocal of a negative rational number. We said that 1 by a is the reciprocal of a, right? Let's write a negative number. Let's say 7 minus 7, right? Its reciprocal is minus 1 by 7, right? Similarly, reciprocal of minus 2 is minus 1 by 2. Reciprocal of minus 8 is minus 1 by 8. What you must have understood now is reciprocal of a negative number is also a negative number, right? So you got it? The reciprocal of a negative number, negative rational number, is a negative rational number. I hope you like the video. Please like, share and subscribe to our channel Learn to Score. Thank you.